Today, over 89 million people have been displaced from their homes, communities, and countries. That means 1 in every 88 persons on Earth have been forced to flee their home. When someone is displaced, they're forced to leave their homes, their communities, and so to be displaced, to be out of place, can be a big challenge for people.
When you meet people who've been displaced from their homes, against their wishes, against their will, you realize the enormous human cost that's associated with that. I'm Robert McLeman. I'm a professor of environmental studies at Wilfrid Laurier University, and I study the impacts of climate change. There's a variety of ways in which climate change and other environmental changes can displace people and cause people to move. Some of the most common direct impacts are when there are extreme storms or floods that cause damage to houses, to infrastructure, and people need to flee their home. Environmentally related migration and displacement is a big challenge, especially in low-income countries, because there's a lot of rural to urban migration that's already taking place in many parts of the world. There's a lot of population growth, especially in cities, and when you layer on top of that environmental challenges, whether it's droughts, whether it's water scarcity, floods, extreme heat, this adds to the challenges for cities that already lack infrastructure, that are already lacking in housing, lacking in sanitation. So the type of research that we do takes those types of events and documents them and then translates it into scholarly knowledge that can be used by policymakers, by the general public, to better understand how the climate is changing, how it's affecting people, and what can be done to help us better adapt.
This research is important because it keeps those stories alive. It keeps those stories at the forefront of our minds. The families that I've worked with, the research that I do, people say we oftentimes feel forgotten by the world. My name is Bree Akesson. I'm an associate professor in the Faculty of Social Work at Wilfrid Laurier University, and my research focuses on the impact of war on families. The losses that families experience in the face of war are numerous. There's so many losses and they layer upon each other. This is something that the research is looking at. How do families cope with these different layers of loss? Statistics tend to eclipse the everyday realities that families in the conflict settings are dealing with. When we look at statistics, we see a number. But when you hear a story, when you hear that this family is struggling with these challenges, it has a lot more power, it has a lot more importance. And our research holds that responsibility to tell these family stories and share them with the world.
That's one of the things that motivates me to do the type of research that I do, is to try and give voice to the people who are being displaced right now around the world. That's where I really see the whole Laurier goal of inspiring lives really starting to come together in a tangible way in the day-to-day things that we do here in research and teaching.